All right, an article in the Los Angeles Times calling to replace, you got it, the Star-Spangled Banner with Lean on Me. The LA Times arguing if we must have an anthem, it should be far different than the one we got now. Positioning another kind of patriotism, an alternative idea of America and Americanists. There is such a song. The song is Lean on Me. It's a message you could build something on, a pretty solid foundation for a decent society. Here to react, a Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member, Jack Brewer. Jack, is this a good idea?
I don't know about Lean on Me. I mean, it's a great song before a national anthem. I don't know, it sounds a little soft, to be honest with you, but I like it for a lot of other reasons. But, you know, if you're going to change the national anthem, it's a way to do it in America. You know, we have a constitution and we have a legal process that allows you to vote on these type of things. And I think at some point in our country, we have to remember what makes us so strong, and that is our history and our Constitution. It's the reason why slaves are actually freed. It's the reason why, you know, schools are integrated. And it's the reason why right now you're seeing us be able to fight for so many rights like school choice, fighting against all these late-term abortions and so many other issues that have oppressed the born and the unborn. It's because of our Constitution, people. Let's wake up and realize that our country, the reason why our country is the desire of folks all over the world is because we have a system that we can vote things in and out. And let's take the proper protocols to make those things happen if folks are really that passionate about it.
I mean, we should put in context, you're getting rid of a poem that was written while Francis Scott Key was observing, knowing that Washington was burned to the ground, the president was missing, the army was dispersed. Would Fort McHenry go down? No, it wouldn't. The bombs would burst in air. They would not reach it. The British would pick up and move because they couldn't destroy us. Francis Scott Key was so moved, he was on a British ship at the time, he wrote the poem. 50 years later, it becomes the national anthem. The second verse is problematic. The first verse isn't.
And I can tell you this, right? I don't like the man Francis Key was or what he stood for or what he said, but I'm sure happy we won that war. I can tell you that.
Right. I'm pretty sure we're pretty much better being America is part of our story. Hofstra University is now moving the Thomas Jefferson statue from in front of the middle of their campus to a different portion because it offended black students because he had slaves. Now, Jefferson also, Jack, wrote the Declaration of Independence, was our third president, our first Secretary of State, and a vice president. He created the University of Virginia. He was one of those indispensable Americans in the American story. The slavery thing is impossible to get your head around, but he was a person of his times. Why are we reevaluating Thomas Jefferson's role in America?
I mean, we really should be looking at, you know, how we can learn from Thomas Jefferson's role in America and how we can add statues of so many prominent African Americans and people of all races, colors, and sexes, women as well. Add these folks to these campuses that, you know, who was the first black student to go to Hofstra? Who was the first woman to break that barrier? Those type of people should also be celebrated. Instead of us tearing things down, let's add.
And, Jack, I would have no problem putting a plaque right at the bottom. But he also owned, throughout his life and his dad's life, 600 slaves. He was born into that culture, sadly. And real quick, George Washington University, they want to change the name of 2 schools on that campus, James Madison as well as Winston Churchill. Madison created the Constitution. We wouldn't be the same country without him. And Winston Churchill saved the free world. Were they perfect? No. Why now are we demanding perfection for monuments, plaques, and statues?
Because people are fixated on this. They want to feel like they have made a change. They want to erase the history of our nation. And we got to be careful, ladies and gentlemen, because if you erase your history, you are likely to repeat it. Take it back to the Bible. You read the Bible biblical times. There's a reason why we have an Old and a New Testament. It's a reason why we have to learn how things were in the way that Christ changed them once he got here. We cannot get away from that. And we need to teach our children about these folks and teach these children the good, the bad, the ugly, but more importantly, embrace our history. God bless America.
Right. For every Jefferson, put a Harriet Tubman, put a Frederick Douglass, put a Booker T. Washington. I'm all for that. Expand the American story. Jack Brewer, thanks so much.
Amen, brother. Great to be with you.
All right.